storm chase planned today, but we're not storm chasing yet. Similar to what we had yesterday. So we are going to head through Amarillo and then Lubbock and down toward like Seminole, Texas. We've got a ways to go. We won't be streaming the entire thing, but I'm trying to go live every day while we're out here storm chasing because I used to do that. People really liked it. But we have 4 hours and 45 minutes left. It puts us in the Seminole, Texas area at about 5 o'clock or so p.m. I'm also watching the possibility of a tropical storm, maybe later on in the week. Most likely tropical depression. So yeah, hey, thanks for the super chat in there. Absolutely. Yeah, we're working on something here. If we can hit our super chat goal again this month, which we typically do, if we can hit that goal again, it's going to make live streaming every day easier. Now, I might be forewarned, I may have to start a second YouTube channel because this is a weather-related YouTube channel, and if I start getting non-weather-related stuff in there, like on a regular basis, it might cause the people that are only here for the storms to lose interest, so I may have to start a second channel. But either way, whatever. We'll be starting daily live streams regardless. And the reason that we set the goal amount of where it's at is to help cover expenses. But I think we're actually going to pull the trigger and go buy one of those IRL streaming backpacks. There's a couple of them out there, but there's one that works with the live view, and you can basically bond for connections with it. It's all in one in a backpack, and it would actually make streaming easier when we're not in the car. So when we hit that goal, whenever that is, I'm going to go out and buy one of those, and then we're going to start live streaming every day, or almost every day anyway. So I know people seem to really like these drives. And thanks for yesterday as well. We had a lot of viewers yesterday on the Storm Chase stream. We were live in Texas near Weatherford. Or I'm sorry, Oklahoma near Weatherford. We saw one of the most photogenic storms I've seen all year. Captured it in 360. I did post a preview, which is basically a watered down version of the 360. It's not the full 360 view, but it is the panorama from the camera. It's like an 8-minute clip. I posted it to YouTube for the members only. However, I am going to take all the 360 video and condense it down into a nice video, and that'll be released for everybody, whether you're a member or not, within the next couple of days. I'm still working on putting the raw 360 video up there so that you can actually, see and look around, like VR goggles or whatever. And I did post a video, if you're wondering in detail what my plans are for today. I did post a video on my channel this morning. You're welcome to go watch that and share it on social media. But the problem with starting a second channel is you kind of got to go probably about 10 minutes from Texola. It's probably about 10 minutes from coming into Texas on I-40. And then we're a good 4.5 to 5 hours away from the target area. I have Seminole, Texas, which is down there south of Lubbock, in the GPS. I think that's a good place to go today. But tropical system, it's officially an invest. So the National's monitoring it down there off the Yucatan, and it's going to come through the Gulf and possibly impact southern Florida. Even if it's not a tropical storm, it will still bring flooding rainfall likely. So I'm actually considering going down there. If it looks like it could potentially be a tropical storm, we'll for sure go. It's like a 25-hour drive from where we're going to be, though, so that'll mean we'd have to leave tonight and basically put the pedal to the floor. We'll stream the whole thing, too, of course. But just because what happens here, we get these tropical storms, and they're very newsworthy events. So if it does look like it's got the potential to become Tropical Storm Alex, we will go. If it doesn't, if it looks like it's just going to stay a depression, then we'll probably stay out here in eastern New Mexico, because it looks like Friday we've got another risk for severe weather. Tomorrow's going to be a down day. If we don't go to Florida, which I don't want to, but we might. But if we don't go to Florida, then we will have a down day tomorrow. We won't really have anything to do, which is nice. Like I said, thanks everybody for jumping on here and viewing the stream. Like I said in this morning's video, it is getting extremely expensive out here. So just viewing this and sharing it makes a big difference. And it's not the cost of groceries or hotels or anything. The cost of hotels are not going up. I thought they would, but they're not. It's gas. This time last year we were paying $2.75 a gallon. It's literally half the gas. I'm also in need, if anybody out there is like a wizard with streaming and computers and stuff, I need a little bit of help, possibly with OBS, maybe creating some graphics or whatever. I think it would be really cool if we had some progress bars that we could show on stream that I could type in like into a Google form or something. You know, every time we get gas, we can be like, okay, we'll just spend $65 on gas, and then have it show up in like a progress bar on screen. And then we can look at the end of every day or every week and see how much money we, poured out of the drain, poured down the drain and fuel and stuff live on stream. I think that would be kind of fun. Because everybody's always asking, well, how much does gas cost? How much does this cost? I think it'd be kind of fun if we could do that, live. I could do it. I could enter it into OBS manually, but when I'm driving around, I can't do that. It would be nice if we had a portal that I could log into, like an IP address or something. Log into it, type in the number, and just have it go in. That would be cool. Anyway, thanks for the super chats and everything, guys. It's always appreciated. We put all that toward first we put it toward the streaming costs, and then it goes toward fuel too. Where are we headed? much happened in Illinois. I think there was a brief tornado somewhere, but I'm really, really glad that we came down here because we would have been disappointed up in Illinois. It's a lot of fun when we get these photogenic storms. Slow-moving ones, too. We'll start getting into kind of the photography season of storm chasing here shortly. Typically June and July and August has some real photogenic storms up north in the northern plains. Eastern Montana, western Dakotas, Nebraska, Iowa. Real slow-moving, very pretty storms. Small tornado threat. I don't think we're going to see a tornado today. We could. It's not out of the question. Primary risks are going to be large hail again and damaging winds. But we are going to literally, it does change depending on my mood, but this really is truly my favorite place to chase tornadoes and storms. West Texas up into the southern portions of the Panhandle is absolutely very pretty. It's some of the prettiest terrain that I've ever seen. Data coverage is pretty rough down there though. Super chat, Cheryl. Appreciate it, everybody. And do our best today to get something photogenic, just like we did yesterday on the stream. I will be starting a different live stream, though. I don't want to confuse anybody. Yeah, we're talking about weather, but this is just our drive. People really, really used to like and love these drives between the storm chase targets. I had lots of positive feedback, so I'm going to start doing that again. And when I stopped doing it, I noticed a lot of people were saying we need to do it again. So that means as a content creator, because in a way, I mean, I work for myself, but in a way I kind of work for everybody that watches these. I mean, if you guys want to see something, I'll do it. Okay, now we're in Texas. All right, now we're in Texas. But, if this is what you guys want to see, I'll do it. But I can't do it all at once. Like, once we start storm chasing, I'll start a new stream with a new title so that it makes sense. Yeah, welcome to Texas. Radar doesn't really show much for precipitation here, although it's raining. I'm very excited that photogenic tornado, it lasted like 15 minutes, and we just streamed the entire thing. It was great. Like I said, by this evening we'll have to decide if we're going to do Florida or not, because we would need to, it's like a 25-hour drive, so we would need to do it over 2 days. So we would have to start going tonight, probably drive till Dallas and then sleep, and then drive the next day as far as we possibly could, and then finish it off the day after. The only issue with going to Florida is it puts us out of service for if there were to be any severe weather chances Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, possibly even Monday, we would not be able to get to them. So I'm going to reserve our trip to Florida under 2 conditions. We will go to Florida no matter what if it looks like it's going to be a tropical storm. And we will also go to Florida for sure if Friday doesn't look good. There is a severe weather threat Friday in eastern New Mexico, one of my other favorite places to chase. And if later tonight the model runs aren't looking so good, if it's looking like it's not going to be much of a threat, then we'll probably just go to Florida. Regardless. Even if it's a tropical depression, we could still see some flooding rainfall down there, and it would be newsworthy. And honestly, we're at that point in the year where we really need to start thinking about tropical systems anyway. It'll be a good time. If we do go down to Florida, which honestly we almost should anyway. I have a couple of things that we're going to be doing. I've got a satellite phone that we need to figure out how to patch into the stream, because the problem is if we're covering a hurricane and the stream goes out because we lose cell data, I can keep the stream up remotely through the server, but there would be no video. But we can actually call in, and there's ways to do it, like call a Skype number or something. We can call in with the satellite phone and at least keep audio up. We could have it so that it'll just switch to radar, and then if just take the audio from the phone, and we can just take the satellite phone, call the number on the server, and then just leave the satellite phone in the car here with us, and at least have audio and tell people what's going on. Should really test out that method of doing that. So if we do go down there, we'll probably test that out before the storm. Pull the plug on all the streaming equipment, see if everything works. But it looks like Friday would be a nice day out here for some photogenic supercells. There's a slight risk tomorrow somewhere out there on the East Coast with a marginal risk tomorrow in eastern New Mexico. Now, if that marginal does play out, we could get some cells in southeast New Mexico into Mexico tomorrow. So, if that happens and we're not going to Florida, we'll be on those as well. But I won't schedule a stream because it's pretty iffy right now. But if that were to happen, we would go live. Once we get to Amarillo, we will head south. reminder though, the slight risk for severe weather extends from the West Texas area all the way up into New York. Large slight risk area today. Sunday driver. Miles until we get to Amarillo. It's 70 miles left in the tank, so we'll find gas up here. I want to go a little bit farther down. I didn't want to get gas in Oklahoma because gas is a little bit cheaper here on this side of the state line in Texas. That 20 cents that you can save a gallon adds up really fast when you're buying like hundreds of gallons a month. We really need to just get like Exxon or BP or something to sponsor us and just give us free gas. Or if anybody knows anyone that's won the lottery or something that would like to sponsor us by just writing us a large check, let us know, and we'll just go prepay for a bunch of gas, and then we'll buy a bunch of souvenirs for everybody. Maybe we'll start doing that with the super chatters. I wanted to do something for the people that super chat, and I kind of had the idea maybe we should buy like once per stream, if you've sent a super chat, like figure out a way to put all those names into like a random generator thing. Pick somebody and we'll go like buy some dumb souvenir at a gas station and mail it to them or something. That'd be kind of fun. But the stream would have to decide what we're getting, so we couldn't know who it is until we got it, otherwise that'd ruin the fun. I think we're coming through Shamrock right now. This was the original target area for severe weather yesterday here in Shamrock, but we ended up in west central Oklahoma instead. Tends to happen from time to time. It's also a very pretty part of the state, the Panhandle. Once we hit 50,000, I can't talk. I think once we hit 50,000 subscribers, we're going to do something also. We'll give something away. I don't know what we'll give away, but we'll give something away. Shaw, once a year he gives away a broken piece of his car and sends it to one of his Patreon supporters. He literally takes a broken piece of his car, puts it in resin and mails it out. Maybe we should do that. I don't have anything broken on here though that I could like mail. I mean, I guess I could wait for a headlight to burn out and we could like start mailing people our burnt out headlights maybe. I think that's what he did last year, or it might have been the year before. One of the years he mailed somebody like a freaking light bulb or something that burnt out in his car. I'm like, what the heck? But people like that. So. Also, I don't know if any of you follow my friend Daniel Shaw from Australia on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, but he got hit by a trailer last night. somewhere down by Frederick, Oklahoma. And I guess his car's okay. I mean, his car is beat up anyway. He's a storm chaser, but I think it bent his rim. I need to get a new rim, but the strong RFD from a storm, which I'll be honest with you, it was probably 100 mile an hour RFD, blew like a, it was a dual axle. It looked like a large dual axle, maybe like a 12-foot utility trailer. It blew it across the road. It wasn't hooked up to anything. It was just like parked somewhere. It blew it across the road and hit his car. So you should go try to find that video if you can. It's kind of interesting. Severe weather this weekend. I have no idea. I can't really forecast that far out, especially with the weather pattern we've been in. I just don't have the time to look at the long-range models to really go past day 3. For example, I got to the hotel last night at about 9 o'clock. Well, 2 Walmarts because anything, and I had to get that SD card reader so we could get the info or get the video off the cameras. And I was so tired I had to go to bed, and then woke up at 5:30 this morning and was working on that video ever since. I just don't have time to do the forecasting. So I kind of, when we're actively chasing, you know, day 1, day 2, day 3, and don't go too much farther beyond that. When it's not so busy, more days. Climatologically, though, it's that time of the year where the high plains in the northern, eastern Colorado, Nebraska, even eastern Wyoming start to get pretty active this time of year. We haven't seen much in eastern Colorado yet this year, though. Surprisingly, we didn't see much last year either. Or eastern Wyoming, for that matter. driving to somewhere down there southwest of Lubbock, Texas, probably near Seminole. Trying to get into position for another storm chase today. Probably some large hail, damaging winds, maybe a tornado. Probably some photogenic storms like we had yesterday. I will be live streaming that, and we'll start that stream up probably around 5 o'clock. We'll keep this stream up for a little bit as well, a couple hours. Of a suitable gas station. Started off near Weatherford, Oak City area. Start of hurricane season, or I shouldn't say hurricane season. I should say tropical weather season. Statistically speaking, this is when we start to see some of our first tropical systems begin to develop. Just basically means that the National Hurricane Center is monitoring it. But I kind of think that, what is this guy doing? What in the hell? What are you doing? Jesus Christ. All right, we're not going to go to this gas station because I don't want to deal with that person. Holy smokes. It's a storm chasing tour van. You've got to be kidding me. What the hell? What is wrong with these people? A van full of tour guests, and they've all just frickin' smoked our car. Jesus. They're coming up beside us on the shoulder, so I stopped because I didn't know what the heck was going on, even though we had a yield sign, and I'm sure you all know that yield means we have to slow down and make sure nobody's coming. So I was slowing down, and all of a sudden they like come up flying up behind us at 100 miles an hour. Frickin' go half into the ditch, and then they looked like they were gonna come back onto the road and hit us, and then they went around us to go. What in the hell? That's a storm chasing tour. I'm not gonna say who. It's one I've never heard of. They had a magnet on the side. I had never heard of them. It wasn't Roger or Charles, or it wasn't any of those people. But we're just gonna go to a different gas station because I have a feeling that if I go to that one, I'm probably not gonna be able to keep my mouth shut because that ticked me off. A van full of tour guests about smoked our car. That's real nice. Like, we had to yield, so what do they expect me to just blow through an intersection where there's traffic potentially coming at highway speed? Like, did they not expect me to slow down and look both ways, or what? Jesus. God, that makes me so mad. I don't think that was a mistake either. I think that was just carelessness because we're very visible. We've got 5 brake lights on this damn thing. There's literally additional brake lights on the back of my vehicle because I want people to know when I am stopping. Good Lord. The only reason it ticks me off so bad is because they've got a van full of people. Like, you got a van full of people, please. Good God. Sorry for the negativity. That's just, I couldn't believe that. They like came up out of control on the side of the road. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? And I was afraid to move because I didn't know if they were going to swerve into me. My God. Anyway, sorry for the negativity. I apologize. But that's why it's always important to check your mirrors because when they were coming up, they were on the shoulder there, and then when they went around us, if I would have continued going straight the way they swerved around us, I probably would have hit them. Because then they came in, I don't know, whatever. What a dumb deal. Always check your mirrors because you never know when somebody's going to come up behind you and drive dumb. Typically, you don't pass on the right. That's funny. I just got a Twitter message there popped up on the screen from that tour group's Twitter account. Now, I'm not going to say who it was. That's not professional of me. It was not Roger. It was not Cloud9. It was not ETT. It was not Brandon. It was none of these. Brandon Ivy. It was none of those guys. I have never heard of this tour company. And they've got 75 followers. So I don't think anybody else has either. I think they're just a little run-of-the-mill thing. But I just got a Twitter message telling me that I need to drive better. It literally says, please drive better. Okay, I will drive better just for them. I will drive better. Speed limit is 75 and we're doing 74. So we are driving super safe just for them. Like, I couldn't believe that. Like, you don't pass on the right, and I'm assuming they're probably watching now. There's a white line, and you don't pass on the right unless, like, somebody is stopped in the lane of travel with, like, their 4-ways on because, like, they're disabled. Like, I can understand going around them then, but when there's a yield sign and no stop sign on the other lanes, it's a 4-way intersection, but you have a yield sign, and you're slowing down because there might be oncoming traffic, and somebody is at that yield sign slowing down, probably a bad idea to pass them on the right, off of the road, to the right of the fog line. Just a thought. I mean, I understand, like, sometimes you do. Like, if my car would have ran out of gas right there, fine, but I couldn't believe that. Wow, okay. I will drive better. Anyway, so we're going to go to the next gas station, because I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut in those scenarios. There's a couple of them coming up. There's a travel center, it says. We need that for we need a t-shirt that we can sell that says drive better. I see some comments about the tours and stuff. Yeah, you know, if you guys want to take storm chasing tours, there are some really, really good ones out there. Like Cloud9 tours, they're good. Roger Hill's group, whatever he, Silver Lining, ETT, well, maybe not ETT. Yeah, don't book with ETT. I think they screwed Reed over. But anyway, you could book with like Brandon Ivy. Brandon does an excellent job. In fact, you know, if I was going to book a storm chasing tour, I would probably book one with Brandon Ivy. I like Brandon Ivy. He's a really, really good guy. Oh yeah, we'll let you know when we're chasing something. Like I said, we will be starting a new live stream for the actual storm chase. To some of the guests that Brandon had on his tour when I ran into him, Brandon Ivy, when I ran into him at a hotel a couple of weeks ago, they were all really happy. So. What happened that as we ticked off? A storm chasing tour group that I've never heard of before. Just about hit us at a yield sign. That's all. Yeah, we need a drive better shirt, absolutely. Yesterday was kind of a surprise. I didn't think that was going to happen. We were going to be streaming from that area. I thought we were going to be Shamrock, Texas, or Childress, Texas, but that was kind of a surprise that those storms started going up. Ended up starting to stream early. rained on with this depressing weather. Can barely see the wind turbines that are just off the road. It's so hazy, foggy, and nasty out. Let's see, what, 12 miles to Groom, Texas. That's probably where our gas station is. Hey, I just passed that turnoff right there. That little where that semi-container trailer thing is, that shipping container that they're using as a ship. We were live streaming. No, I don't know. Yeah, I was live streaming. A couple of weeks ago, I was live streaming, and we stopped there, and that's where I had my lunch. We sat there for like a half an hour, so yeah. are people not driving with their headlights on? Like, there's a guy that just came up behind us that I can barely see, and I just cut him off because I can barely see him in my rear view. Nobody's got their headlights on. Like, is that not a thing anymore? Usually when it's rainy, you turn your headlights on. I mean, there are people doing it, but I've noticed a lot of people that don't do it. Get any telemarketers today. Damn it. There goes the GPS. 1.5 miles to our exit. Oh, there's that. Oh, I forgot what the story is with this. That stupid leaning tower. I shouldn't say stupid, but the leaning water tower. It's literally just a water tower, but it leans. So, no offense to any of the locals. Not that it's stupid, but it's just everybody goes nuts over that. Like every time I come through here, everybody, the chat just goes nuts about it. And it's usually people that have no clue, like, oh my god, the thing's about to fall over. And it's like, no, it's been like that forever. I don't know what the story is behind it. I just know it's leaning water tower. Whatever. It's kind of cool.
Take exit 113.
Well, it's a good thing we're coming here because it looks like we've got a better gas station.
In a quarter mile, keep left. Follow signs for I-40. Keep left, then turn left onto Ranch Road, 2300. Turn left onto Ranch Road 2300 Eastern Avenue. Then your destination will be on the left.
429. Why is it so? Hang on here. We're gonna drive better and not cut this guy off. Oh, he's using his turn signal like a good driver. I think the price of gas is cheaper at this one. $4.48? Screw that. Gas is $4.48 a gallon at that gas station. Screw that. We are going to go to a different one.
Your destination is on the left.
That one's $4.40 or $4.48. Yeah, $4.48. And this one's $4.29, and it's a quarter mile away. So let's just go to this one. why anybody would want to go to that gas station for that price. Wow. Those guys are towing another car with their Ford Explorer. Their newer Ford Explorer. My God, they have that thing so overloaded right now, it's not even funny. Say bye to their transmission. These vehicles are not meant to tow. Email. Hey, I gotta look up that water tower real quick. I gotta figure out what the deal is with that. The Leaning Water Tower of Texas. Okay, here we go. The water tower slanted at an uncomfortable angle off the old Route 66 was an ingenious marketing play. If this is fake, are you kidding me? I thought it was like an actual water tower that just broke. Well, this is get a load of this rip off. Despite a population of 574 residents at this location in the middle of nowhere, the town of Groom, Texas has have nearly as many unique attributes as it does people. This includes a small stretch of the original Route 66, the site of the plot of cross-Canadian ragweed whatever. I don't care. Who? And the 7th largest freestanding cross in the world at 190 feet and a strange leaning water tower. The water tower is right alongside the former path of Route 66, which has since been paved over to create U.S. Interstate 40. During the early and mid-20th century, passerbys on the Mother Road were intrigued by the severe tilt of the water tower, asking themselves what on earth could have caused it. In reality, it was the work of a heavy-duty vehicle and a bulldozer, blah, blah, blah. Some Ralph guy that wanted to start a truck stop. He bought the water tower from the town of La Force as a ploy to attract visitors. So he towed it back to Groom, wrote his last name on it, and tipped it on its side. Cool. Alright, so some guy named Ralph put it there. So that's all I needed to know. No offense to anybody that like lives here. Like I think this is actually a really nice area. I just think it's kind of a weird, everybody like freaks out over it. Oh my God, it's the Leaning Water Tower. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so yep, so some Ralph guy decided he wanted to buy a water tower, put it here so he could open a truck stop. That works. So, thanks, Ralph. It's probably long dead now. Long dead. Hey, when did that get put there? I don't know. I really don't care. I do care, but I don't care enough to look it up. Somebody look it up and figure out when that got put there. I'm pretty sure it was in the article. Okay, I got my key in my hand, guys. I gotta get gas, so. Let me get gas and spray the windshield. Yeah, and you know what? Ralph probably had a lot of money if he could afford to buy a whole water tower in the early 1900s and drag it all the way over here. That's a good place to see them. Yeah, we're live. You can't make this stuff up. Jesus. So I'm in there at the gas station, and this guy goes, "Did you just apply Rain-X to a wet windshield?" And I said, "Yeah, I sure did." And he goes, "Well, that's really dumb." And he goes, "You got to read the directions," and then he walks away. It's like, whatever. Yes, I did, because I'm too lazy to dry it, and it'll still work. The Rain-X will still function, will still work, but it's not as good as it could be. But I couldn't believe that. The guy just comes up to me. I think
Head north on Farm to Market Road
couldn't believe that.
2300, Ranch
Did
Road
you just apply Rain-X to a
2300.
wet windshield? You need to read the directions. Okay, sorry. Jesus. Okay, remember that, guys. We can't apply Rain-X to a damp windshield. It's not really, you know. It's supposed to be dry, but I couldn't believe that. So the guy must have been watching me from in there because I didn't see him out at the pumps. That's kind of funny. All right, we'll get back on our way.
Head south on Farm to Market Road 2300, Ranch Road 2300, then turn right onto the I-40 West ramp. Turn right onto the I-40 West ramp. In a quarter mile, merge onto I-40 West.
Anyway, thanks everyone for viewing. There was a guy there. I should have got his name. There was a guy there that came up to me at the gas pump that said he was actually watching us on the way down or whatever, so that was kind of neat.
Continue on I-40 West for 42 miles.
Yep, headed toward Amarillo. We got like, what, 40 miles? And then we'll drop south. This must be that giant cross that the water tower article was talking about. That's not that big of a cross. I've seen much bigger. That can't be it. That's not 190 feet tall either. Well, you know what? No, that's not 190 feet tall. There's no way. That's like 100 feet tall. 120, maybe. That can't be it. I've seen much larger crosses. You know, I see a lot of crosses that are identical to that. Those big white crosses all over. They're like 120 feet tall. Like, where do you even order those? Do these people just like call up like the big white cross company or what? They're all over down in like Mississippi. And they're all, the reason I say that is they're all like identical. They all look exactly the same, like they're coming from the same place. Probably some cross company somewhere. I'm sick of, what's 1 o'clock already? Wow. See, I'm sick of driving already. can of liquid death at that truck stop, or that thing. And the frickin' can, the opener failed on it. You know, like when you open a can of pop and like the tab doesn't work. Well, what the hell? Need something to stab it with. We might have to actually stop the car because I might need my car key to open this this can. We got it open. About wrecked my day. Every time I try this stuff, I have to get like used to it. I haven't had this stuff for a couple of days. It's just flavored fizzy water, but it's really bland, but it's good, and it takes you used to getting you expect it to not be so bland, and then when you taste it, it's kind of weird, but it takes a couple of drinks to get used to. Flat tires reminds me of that time I blew my tire out on the off ramp. We were chasing in Mississippi in March, and we were about to start chasing, and I had a flat tire, or a tire go flat, and I pulled over and had a big bulge in the sidewall, and I'm like, well, damn it, you know. Well, I take that back. I didn't know it had a bulge in the sidewall because it was flat. So I filled it with air. I had a little tiny air compressor that plugs into the cigarette. So not a very powerful air compressor at all. And I plugged it into the tire, and I plugged it in. It usually takes 15 minutes to pump a tire up. So I sat back in the car and was minding my own business. And all of a sudden I heard like the loudest bang I ever heard in my life. And the car like shifted. And I'm like, God dang it, I just blew my tire out. So I blew the tire out of the bulge in the sidewall with one of those tiny little 12-volt air compressors. I couldn't believe it. That's what that reminds me of. Afternoon, everybody. We'll keep the stream active until we get past Amarillo, and then we'll start a new stream for the actual storm chasing, probably around 4:30. click the notification icon, you should get notified when there's a stream, I think. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, we're on I-40 right now. Amarillo, Texas, southwest of Lubbock. A little bit early to tell. We'll know in a couple of hours as things evolve, but I think we're going to be south of Lubbock. Hopefully monsoon season doesn't, let me rephrase that. I hope that, because hurricane season and monsoon season kind of overlap. Hopefully we can get out for monsoon season in like Arizona and Utah for those pulse storms. They're not tornadic or anything, but they're just really photogenic and flash flood coverage and everything out there. I'd like to get out there a couple of times, but it's tough because oftentimes we're dealing with tropics, and that's such a far ways to go for the tropics. Normally, I would almost consider flying out there and getting a rental car. We might have to do that. For example, if we've got tropical systems in the Gulf, but we have a couple of days, might have to park at an airport and fly out. But I really want to do some streaming for some flash flood potential and just general monsoon pulse storms out there in Arizona and southern Utah this year. It would be really pretty. Actually never been to Arizona before, or Utah. No, I take that back. I've been to Utah. No, I haven't. I have been to every state that has, like frequent severe weather. I don't really care about the other ones. Well, I do care about the other ones, but you know what I mean. insurance on my car? No. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I have insurance. I have a lot of insurance. I have really expensive insurance on this car. The main reason that, and I shouldn't say that, it's not super expensive per month. I need to rephrase it. I have insurance that covers a lot because I feel like people that don't have a lot of money should at least have a lot of insurance so that when their stuff breaks, they can get new stuff. And I don't really have a lot of money. Like, this car is like my life and my job. So if, whether it's my fault or someone else's fault, if it gets launched off of a bridge into a river, I really need a new car. So I have really good insurance. But I also insure, with the insurance, I insure everything in the vehicle, like the computer, the radios, the lights. The wrap is insured. So like, if we get into an accident and the wrap has to be redone, they'll cover that. So my insurance covers like everything. Just for the main reason of, you know, this is very high risk out here. Not necessarily because of the tornadoes, but just when you're driving 10 to 15,000 miles a month, that's just, statistically speaking, I am more likely to have an accident than someone that drives 100 miles a month. You know what I mean? Like, statistically, it is fairly likely for me to have an accident, because whether I cause it or someone else causes it, doesn't matter. But I'm kind of a higher risk person to insure because of that. And my insurance company knows it, and they're very good about it. We only pay about $200 a month to insure this car. And that's extremely cheap for the coverage that we're getting. But I had to go through a broker, a local agent, because like if you call it Progressive and you're like, I need to cover everything plus some, they'll be like, well, the vehicle's, 5 years old, screw that. Well, I had to go through somebody locally because I told them, I said, I needed, so I'm like, I don't want to get totaled, and let's say the vehicle's worth $15,000, which it is. I don't want it to get totaled and then be like, well, we're going to give you a check for $5,500. I'm like, I can't have that. I need the vehicle replaced. And that's what I have covered. So yeah, it's not special insurance or anything. It's just regular auto insurance with really, really good coverage. I get asked that a lot. A lot of people wonder if I have like different insurance. Well, I do. I have business insurance to cover, like, I'm not saying that I'm a terrible driver. I mean, that guy that we just talked about probably says that I'm a terrible driver, but like, let's say something happened, like I fell asleep right now and I go into the other lane and I take out 15 cars. Well, I have business insurance that also helps cover that. Like if I'm at fault of something, because I'm operating in a commercial matter right now, I am in commerce, I am making money from what I'm doing, not much, but some. I have insurance that would basically, if they turn around and sue me, that kind of thing. Because you never know. I mean, something stupid could happen that could be my fault or someone else's. A tire could fall off the car and I could end up going into the other lane and I could take out 15 people and be sued by 7 of them. And, so I have the auto insurance and then I have the business insurance. And that's why I promote this stream so seriously. And I have a couple of clients that purchase my stream. And the reason, the selling point that I use when people talk about, like, there's a lot of people, there's a couple of YouTubers that want to use my stream for free, and a couple of them that have stole my stream, and I have copyright struck them, and won. But the reason that I don't give away my stuff for free is because a lot of storm chasers are just out here driving around. We're fully insured here. If I get into an accident, my fault or not, like, myself and the other person is going to walk away with a car. I mean, that's why I don't do this stuff for free. Like, there was somebody that asked on that rainbow video I posted last night. There was a news station in Oklahoma City that wanted it for free. They messaged me. They're like, well, we would like to show this. I said, well, you can purchase the video. I said, but otherwise, no. And they said, well, we'll give you credit. I'm like, well, no, you need to purchase it, because the 10,000 miles a month I drive to get that video costs me a lot of money. That's why I don't do that. Now, there is an exception. Like, if there's a tornado crossing the road, And this happened last year. We had a tornado in southwest Wisconsin. My local news market in Madison, one of the meteorologists that I know, super awesome guy, messaged me on Twitter. He's like, hey, can I show that video, please? And I'm like, well, I really need to charge you for it. And he's like, well, we don't have it, blah, blah, blah. His producer didn't want to buy it. He was honest. He's like, I want to show it, but the producer doesn't want to pay for it. Like, he will not pay for it. I'm like, okay. So he's like, can you do me a favor and let me show it? I'm like, sure. That's an exception. But these big news companies like the Weather Channel, BBC, all these big places with deep pockets that ask for this content for free, they're not getting it for free. When a little tiny news station in a small market reaches out and says, hey, nice tornado or nice video or whatever, like, the business, like, the account refuses to pay for it, so it's either you can give it to me for free and I'll show it and you would be doing me a favor, or we're not going to get it at all, but I would really like to have it, kind of thing. I'll typically let them have it, because it's not that they can't afford it, but they don't, like, if they're not authorized to purchase it, but they really want to show it, I don't have a problem with that. But that's why I don't give away the content. It's mainly because, like, you don't find many storm chasers that are out here doing this in a commercial manner like this. And I kind of get frustrated when these people are like, well, give it for free, and it's like, no. Like, we are fully insured. How many people out here are fully insured? How many people are insuring the back end? So then, let's say I fall asleep and I cause an accident. Everybody walks out okay, but somebody's paralyzed or something, at least they're going to be covered. I mean, I've got $1 million coverage limit business insurance, which might not cover 20 people in an accident, but, you know, you get the point. You know, it's just... That's my rant about insurance. But no, I'm glad somebody asked that, because I get asked that a lot. Like, what the heck do we do for insurance? And it's just car insurance and business insurance. And the benefit of the business insurance is also, like, this happened to Brett Adair, and he talks about it openly, so I don't mind talking about it. And this is not a knock at Brett. I really like Brett. But he was in, I think it was Hurricane Michael, and he got into some storm surge, and it flooded. He had to abandon his vehicle. Like, he lost his whole truck. I mean, the hurricane took it, it got flooded. If that happens to us, the auto insurance ain't going to cover that, because it was my stupid fault for putting the car in the flood. But my business insurance will cover that. Like, stupid accidents like that could happen. So, like, if anybody that's doing storm chasing, I always try to recommend to them, you know, start an LLC or something, or even a sole proprietorship, and get some sort of insurance on the back end. Just something, because, like, something stupid could happen. A hailstone could come through the window and take out your laptop. Well, good laptops are $1,500 these days. I mean, at least it's covered then. So that's kind of nice. But anyway, that's my rant, which wasn't really a rant. I think that was a good question. I'm glad that we talked about that. That's something that a lot of people ask about, like, not to be nosy, but just out of curiosity, because you know, we're out here driving into tornadoes. A lot of people are probably thinking, how in the hell do you even get car insurance to do that? But and it helps with, like, the cameras. Because, like, a GoPro could blow off the roof or get taken out by a power line, covered. It's supposed to cover my injury as well, so, like, if I get struck, don't die, I guess they'll cover me. I guess. I haven't been struck by lightning. So one thing that we do need to buy for this vehicle that we don't have, and it's going to cost, it's going to be expensive. Daniel Shaw's got one. We need to have, speaking of lightning, we really need to get a defibrillator for this stupid car, because not necessarily for other people, myself, but I'm not kidding, guys, I have almost been struck by lightning probably 5 times in 7.5 to 8 years, and I'm not kidding. Like I can count like 5 times specifically where I thought that I was going to die, or it was a miracle that I didn't die because we had lightning that close. And a lot of people, I brought this up on a stream before and I got crucified, so please don't come after me. I understand, like, this is a risk. Like, I'm around storms, so if I'm outside the vehicle, I could get struck by lightning. I get it. But I feel like I'm a magnet for lightning because, like, we could be 10 miles from a storm. I was 10 miles from a storm 3 years ago in Louisiana. I'm not kidding. In the sky, no thunder, no anything, and all of a sudden there was a cloud to ground bolt that, I'm not kidding, had to be less than 1,000 feet from the car. It struck a tree off of the interstate that I was parked on the side of. I'm just like, are you kidding me? It was a miracle that it didn't hit me. I was standing outside the car. We probably should carry a defibrillator though, because we come up on enough accidents and stuff, but those things are like $2,000. I think you might need I don't even know where to buy one. I know Daniel carries one. Yeah, there are programs that donate these AEDs and stuff. It's one of those things that I just need to, like, actually get off my butt and do, like, write some emails. Yeah, I don't think it'd be that hard to get one, even at a reduced cost. Because, like, a lot of these bigger companies buy them for, like, schools and stuff all the time. You just gotta find the right person to talk to, I guess. Amazon does not have them. I checked. When we were, all that merchandise store money that we're raising with Ryan Hall's stream, that bought all the emergency disaster stuff for the back of the cars. I was actually looking to source 2 defibrillators to purchase with that. One for myself, one for Brandon, possibly a third for Ryan. I could not get them. I honestly was surprised. I did check Amazon. I was really surprised that there wasn't one on there. You can get, like, the supplies and, like, the pads for them, but you cannot get the actual unit on there. So I did check, which surprised me. Honestly, you could probably could find one on eBay. Believe it or not, it would surprise me. Yeah, you can't rewind the stream. When I started this, I think I disabled the DVR and I can't change, so sorry about that. When the stream is complete, you should be able to play it back. I apologize. I think I have to turn it off to fix that. Yeah, I wouldn't need training for an AED. I used to teach the CPR class, so that would be fine. But defibrillators are built so that nowadays you don't even need, I mean, you could hand a defibrillator an automated defibrillator, you could hand to my 87-year-old grandma, who probably doesn't even know what an AED is, and say, use this, and she could figure it out. They are so overly simplified now, it's not even funny. Even 10 years ago, you had to use a little bit of brain power because you had to, like, plug the pads in and you had to push the on button. But like these newer ones, you just, like, you take the lid off and everything's, like, pre-plugged in and it just turns on, and it's like got pictures and it, like, yells at you if you do something wrong. Like, they've really done a good job at manufacturing these things so that literally anybody with, like, 5% of the brain capacity can figure these things out, which is good because let's say we do come up on, like, you wouldn't really use that at a car accident, because if somebody's, you know, I don't know how to say this in YouTube friendly terms, but if somebody's cardiac system has stopped functioning, you can fill in the blanks, due to a traumatic experience like a car accident, there's, like, no reason to use a defibrillator, because it's just not going to do anything. But, you know, we drive so much, if we come up on somebody that's had a legitimate, like, cardiac failure, I mean, I might not be able to, let's say it was a car accident and somebody was, I don't know, I could literally hand the device to somebody and anybody could figure it out, which is excellent. They have seriously come a long way. I think that's great, because there was a need for those to be easier because they have these things at schools. And there was a school that's near my hometown that about 7 years ago, I think it was the janitor or something, had a heart attack. It wasn't a heart attack, it was a cardiac arrest, technically, but whatever, because I'm sure somebody's going to crucify me for saying that too. But somebody had cardiac failure, and it was like a 16-year-old student that had no idea what a defibrillator even was. Like, at the school, the 16-year-old got the defibrillator and used it on the guy. The guy's still alive. He still has that job. So, which is excellent that they've made these things so that anybody can use them, because, like, hell, a kid could use it. I'll be honest with you. I think a 10-year-old could use one, which is good. It's good. Technology isn't bringing us to places that we need to be. I know a lot of people hate on technology, but it's great, because 10 years ago we wouldn't have had a lot of this stuff. But we are definitely going to try to get something like a defibrillator in here, because I get a lot of flack for this, and I'm not reading the chat, so sorry. But a lot of people... There was that guy from Colorado, when we stopped and we were doing search and rescue with Daniel. When Daniel Shaw is also a paramedic. Well, he's the equivalent of whatever they are over there in Australia. But we were doing search and rescue, and some guy from Colorado was calling us out because... I am nothing in the state of Texas, because I don't have an EMS license in the state of Texas, and I'm irresponsible, and I'm a piece of crap, and I need to go bury my head in the sand. Well, that's not actually true. You don't need any fancy license in the state of Texas to help somebody. But we come across so many damage paths that even if we had no use for a defibrillator, we might come across a fire department or an ambulance service that has exhausted all of their supplies that might need it. Like, let's say that we've got 15 ambulances at a tornado damage site, and they've exhausted all their supplies, and there's a cardiac arrest call at the next town over, and they're the only available ambulance, but they've used all their supplies. Well, we could say, okay, here's our supplies. You've got a defib, you've got medical supplies, you've got this, go do your stuff. So, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand with, we'll catch a lot of flack. Oh, you shouldn't carry that. It's like, well, for one, anybody can carry an AED, but two, not only is it good for us, but it's good for other people. Plus, if I get struck by lightning, maybe somebody can help me not die. That would be excellent.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 70 for I-27 South, US 87 South.
I also, I carry, I'm extremely allergic to bees. So I carry epinephrine, but I carry like 4 of the kid EpiPens, because I can't afford an EpiPen. Are you kidding me? They're like $1,000. So I carry like 4 of the kid ones, and they're all expired, but that's fine, because as long as they're not like 20 years old, they're still fine. They're like 2 years old, they're fine, trust me. But I carry a bunch of the kid ones, because that's just what I was able to get my hands on, and it's fine. You would just have to use more than one for an adult. But
continue on I-27 South.
I'll hand somebody some. If somebody's allergic to bees, and you can tell they're allergic to bees or something, and they need epinephrine, I honestly don't care if it's legal or not, or if it's a gray area or a quote-unquote good Samaritan thing. I'll hand them the damn EpiPen. I don't care. I mean, it's like we have to be out here and help people to the best of our abilities. There's just a lot of people on the internet that like to be keyboard warriors and sit there and trash talk it when they don't realize that and they say, oh, you're just trying to be important. No, it's like we're trying to be decent people. I feel like if we're out here driving this many miles and running into so much damage, I feel like we should at least have the supplies that we need to at least help somebody. That's where we were working with Ryan Hall there, and he's was able with the merchandise store to get some money for us together to buy some supplies like flashlights, tarps, stuff that, let's say we go through a town like Lockett the other night, and there's tornado damage. Well, there was people out doing search and rescue in the town, people going door to door, and nobody had flashlights. They were all town residents. Nobody had flashlights. We were the only ones with flashlights. So I've got like 150 flashlights in the back. Brandon's got like 150 flashlights. Ryan's got like 150 flashlights in his truck. It's stuff like that. We come across people that, need something. Okay, here, get a flashlight. We literally bought like flashlights. Stuff. So been beneficial, and I'm glad we were able to do that. I feel like if we come across something, we can actually assist people. We bought tarps, and a lot of people are like, well, why the hell did you buy tarps? Well, okay, roof blown off a house, we've come across it. Yeah, we're not going to go tarp somebody's roof for them, but if somebody's home has sustained damage and we can help them and be like, well, here's some tarps, like, do something to protect your belongings, We carry a lot of stuff like that, a lot of miscellaneous stuff. So we'll be doing some videos on that. Ryan's actually got a video that he's going to release here where we go through all the stuff in the back of the car. But anyway, thanks. That's my commercial for the day. And like I said, I don't monitor the chat when I'm talking about a bunch of stuff, so I apologize. But I guess since we're on the topic, I'll just continue ranting. I've got, and I'm going to answer this because I see one of the people that asked me on Twitter is in the chat, and I didn't get back to them, and I apologize. And I don't want to like call you out or something in case you don't want that. And I apologize for not getting back to you last week, but I got asked, like, if you're a storm chaser or whatever, like, what should you be carrying? Well, honestly, if you don't have any money and you want to carry something to help people, go down to Walmart and get a bunch of towels and some scissors. You can do fix a lot of injuries with some towels, some scissors, and tape. I mean, a towel can be a tourniquet, it can be a bandage, it can be a splint. I would definitely carry towels, tape, and scissors. Seriously. And it seems very simple, but I mean, you can roll up a towel and immobilize a broken bone or a limb. You can stop bleeding. You can start a fire with it. I don't know. You can dry your hands off. You can do pretty much anything you need to do with a towel and some tape. And of course, the scissors. Like I said, somebody's got their leg chopped off. It's a tourniquet. You don't need fancy stuff. But I think that the video that Ryan, by some, I think is going to answer a lot of questions, like what we're carrying in the car. A lot of cool stuff in here. We've got like power banks and chainsaws. That's going to be fun because I'm sick of finding down trees on the road or tree branches that are in our way. So we're going to cut them up and get them off the road. Man, that guy is flooring it. What a moron. It's 65 and we're doing 72, so he's really speeding. So's that guy. Let's write him a ticket. Drive better. But no, thanks for the super chats, everybody. Yeah, I saw that comment about the VA and the EpiPens. Yeah, you're right. They will. Daniel was showing me some of these EpiPens. You can actually, if you're in that big of an emergency situation, you can actually get a second dose out of them if you chop off the top. There's a plunger, the spring-loaded ones. You can actually cut the top off and pull the little spring-loaded plunger back and actually shoot it again. Get a second partial dose out of it. Apparently that's a common thing in Australia. I don't know. But you got to remember, in Australia, they have like spiders and kangaroos and stuff that like eat people's heads. So you gotta do what you gotta do. But another thing we need to get in here, Daniel's got a stick. It's like a 2-foot long tube looking thing, and it detects live power lines, so you can see if power lines are live or not. We really need something like that. It was pretty cheap too. I think he said it was $400. I need to get a hold of him and see where he bought that. We are going to be southbound here in a minute, guys. We are just bypassing through Amarillo. We're in Amarillo right now. So just about to be south. Once you turn this corner, we'll be heading south. But no, thanks for watching, everybody, and I apologize if it annoys anybody, the rants that I go on, but I think I answer a lot of questions because I get a ton of questions in my inbox, and I just don't get around to answering them a lot of times. The one thing that I wasn't carrying the other day, though, was a spare key. And it's kind of ironic that that happened because my biggest, I'm not kidding, my biggest fear has always been locking my keys in the car on a storm chase. And I always thought, you know, it would never be that big of a deal if it ever happened if I locked my keys and my phone in the car, because I would just like get up really close to the windshield and like yell at people on my live stream and call a tow truck or something. And that almost happened, so. I did hide a key on the vehicle, and trust me, nobody will ever find it. And if I ever have to use the spare key that's hidden on the vehicle, it'll take me probably a half an hour to get it from where it's at on the vehicle, but that's okay. At least it's there. Somebody yesterday said that the pattern on the hood of the car looks like a watermelon with the green. I kind of agree, and I think that maybe the next vehicle that we do should look like a watermelon. I kind of think we should do this color scheme with like bright yellow. I think would look cool too. Yeah, welcome to Amarillo. We're headed down. The next town we're going to go through is Canyon. Yeah, I could leave the window. I normally do crack the window, like when I get out to film. I crack the window about 3 inches. You know, it'd still be tough to get your arm in there, but if you had to, you could. Just in case, because this car, I've got it set so it doesn't automatically lock the doors. But sometimes when I get out, I hit the button, and I just reach my arm through the window then. But it would have really sucked if I would have locked my keys in like on the side of the road and it was about to pour rain. That would have just been awful. drive through Happy, Texas as well. I forget what the kid's name is. There's like a 10-year-old kid. I think his name's like CJ or something. I know his mom's name's Amy if they're watching. They live in Happy off of one of the roads. A friend of mine got his vehicle stuck near this family's house in March of 2021, and I met Amy and her kid and the family and pulled them out or whatever. And her 10-year-old son, he might be older than that, I don't remember. He's like Reed Timmer's biggest fan, so he loves Storm Chasers or whatever. So, and their house is just off the interstate, so every time we go by, we have to honk. If we had more time, I would almost try to get a hold of them and see if he wanted to see the car. I don't know if these kids are in school right now or not. You guys are watching. We're going by. Big fan of this stretch of highway here. It's kind of washboarded and rough. This car's got a lot of wind resistance. Every little gust of wind pushes this thing all over the road. Lots of them came in. Thanks again, guys. What kind of vehicle? It's a Ford Explorer. We were going to go with Tahoes, but I had a Tahoe picked out, and then I got thinking, I'm like, God, you know, I really don't want to get 18 miles a gallon. I mean, we get 20 with this, which does add up, though, after a while. Like these Explorers, though, they're very they're appropriate for what we're doing. They're small enough to not get blown around too much by the wind, but they're also big enough that we can fit everything in here and they're comfortable. How do I like it compared to the other car? I prefer it. You know, we were chasing with that Fusion for a while, which still isn't fixed. I did get it towed. It's at a repair shop between Rockford and Chicago right now, waiting on parts. It still has no steering at all. Like, you cannot turn the steering wheel. But I finally got it towed out of the driveway, and it's down there waiting to get fixed. That'll be a backup chase car. But this This thing's nice because it sits off the ground higher, so we don't have to worry about taking gravel or dirt roads as much. With a sedan, you just don't have the ground clearance. Although you do get better gas mileage, so it's a trade-off. I would love a 4Runner, yeah. Oh, you're from Rockford. Well, the car's in Belvedere right now. It wasn't that expensive to tow it either. It was only like $150. I was surprised. Yeah, if Toyota gave me a RAV4 or a 4Runner, we would definitely drive it. I love Toyotas. I really do. They're awesome. They're relatively cheap to repair too. But their resale value is always really high. Like you can buy a 10-year-old RAV4 and still spend $25,000. Just they last so long. I mean, a lot of these Toyotas go 500,000 or well, 350,000 miles before you need to do any sort of major work to them. And then even after that, they go farther. I do like the Explorers, though. The nice thing about these is the motors are solid. They have an issue where the internal water, yeah, it's an internal water pump, which is stupid. But they have an internal water pump and they're known to fail. And when they fail, it's like $2,200 to fix, and every single one of them fails. I don't know if this one's been replaced yet or not. I don't really have a way of knowing, but I think it has been because the valve covers have been off, and it looks like the front cover of the motor's been off because there's some non-factory silicone sealant on there. I hope it's been replaced. If not, we're going to be doing a $2,200 water pump here before too long with the miles we put on this thing. But that's okay. The transmissions in these are made of glass. They're garbage. This one slips. It slips and it bangs into gear all the time. It's the same transmission my Ford Fusion had. I got my we got our Ford Fusion with 20-something thousand miles on it, and the transmission slipped and banged and missed gears and shifted weird and just acted weird ever since we bought it. And that's just how they are. So the transmission on this will probably go out sometime this year, and it'll get a brand new transmission put in it, and then it'll be fine. But the motors on these are solid. Once you replace the water pump, they're really solid. I don't like the Ford EcoBoost motors because they're not very... A lot of things go wrong on them, but this is the naturally aspirated 3.7. It's the same motor that they put in the Mustangs, or the base motor, the V6. It's a really, really good motor, and it's cheap to repair for the most part. So this is a good vehicle to put a lot of miles on because it's relatively easy to work on, if that makes sense. So labor costs are cheap. But yeah, I love Toyotas. Yeah, this car is used. This car is well used. But I would never purchase a new car. Because for me, it almost makes more sense to buy a used one because if the water alternator, I'll put it in the driveway. I won't take it somewhere for that. So most of the stuff I can do myself, which cuts cost down, so that allows us to buy these used vehicles. If it gets a dent in it, then it's not such a big deal. Yeah, Toyotas are great, especially those like 2005 to 2010, like that year, or 2012-ish. RAV4s. Those things are rock solid. Daniel Shaw has like almost 300,000 miles on his, and he just replaced his transmission, not because it needed one, but he had a rear main, a leak on the rear main oil seal, the back of the crankshaft, that rear main seal, and he had to take the transmission out on that vehicle to replace that. So he just replaced the transmission because it was coming out anyway. So like the transmission wasn't bad, he just replaced it because it was coming out anyway, which was smart. It's preventative. But yeah, they're excellent vehicles. I would never hesitate to get a Toyota. I would love to have a Tesla for at home. I've actually considered getting a Tesla to have as a vehicle for at home. I could never storm chase in one right now because you can't reliably find a place to charge it, and they take too long to charge, whatever. But I would drive one at home. Electric cars into a political thing, and for me, it's not a political, it's about environmental. I think it would be cool. I mean, electric cars are fun to drive. I drove a Tesla once, and it was super fun to drive. It's instant torque, it's instant power. I would love an electric vehicle just as a drive around town kind of thing. But I mean, if Elon wants to give me a free Tesla to storm chase in, I mean, we'll figure it out. We'll tow a generator or something, I don't know. Ford Mondeo, yeah, I think that's just your version of the Ford Fusion over there, if I remember correctly. Which is what I used to chase in. Absolutely great car. I love that car. Super comfortable. I used to chase in an F-150, and that thing was awful on gas. I think we should get Elon to ride along. Like, I think we should put Elon in the passenger seat and be like, dude, this is why we need Starlink for mobile, and let him experience the terrible side. I'll just start tweeting Elon and get his attention, because like he actually responds to stuff. Like Elon can come chase with 3,000 mile back. Or that Mr. Beast guy. He's got a lot of money. Let's get a hold of him. Let's get that Mr. Beast guy in the seat. He's got a huge following. We'll get him to get a hold of Elon for us. And then he can tell Elon's people to call my people, and then Elon can give us a Tesla. We could totally storm chase in a Tesla once, though. Like, let's say there was going to be we were forecasting hail near like Amarillo. We could get a rental or like a loaner Tesla in Amarillo, and then drive it into the hailstorm, and then blow all the windows out, and then call a tow truck when it runs out of battery. I don't even know if Elon went through. I thought he backed out of the Twitter deal. Yeah, we'll get that Mr. Beast guy to offer to pay for Elon and his team to come out here, and it'll just be like a collaboration. And then we'll bring Ryan out in his truck that gets like 6.5 miles a gallon, and we'll make it a big deal. What I would really like to do is be able to have a small support team. And I'll be honest with you guys, we are working on something in the background that this might happen. I'd like to have a small support team. I cannot afford the payroll is the problem. I am working on that though. But I would like to have a small support team that could follow in like a Mercedes Sprinter, like small RV type thing, and have like 3 people that could be like a support vehicle that could follow, you know, a mile behind us or whatever, that could get some video of us chasing, because that's the thing. That's why I haven't found a way to do really good YouTube videos, because just the way that I tell stories and create a video, like, I'm not good at doing it about myself. The thing that I'm missing is video of us. When I say us, being me and you guys chasing storms. I only have video of, you know, out the window. I don't have video of somebody behind us, you know, with the car driving in, or videoing me explaining the clouds or whatever. I think it'd be great if even just a couple of times we could get a small support group out here, maybe in a Tesla, to assist in some video production, because it would be excellent if we could do like an hour-long video just kind of explaining, you know, what the heck, how this actually works out here. Because I have to focus on driving and all this, so I can't really explain or get the content necessary to do really high-quality videos. That's why I don't, because I'm missing pieces. The problem is, like, if I was to do that, I don't know how much revenue it would generate, if even any. So I can't offer somebody like, hey, I'll give you $5,000 to follow me around for a week. I can't do that. I basically have to do it. If I were to do that, I'd have to say, well, I'll pay for your gas and I'll give you like 40% of whatever revenue, not knowing what the revenue is. But I'm working on it. You know, we could do something with Nikki, and it'd be nice once we can get, one of these times we're going to get her in the passenger seat, or get her driving, or do something that we can really do some nice coverage of a storm. And yeah, that's the thing. We do have, you know, I do own other vehicles. So, I mean, if we needed to put somebody in a vehicle, we absolutely could. Like I said, we're gonna try to get some money scraped together. They're like $3,000 to get IRL streaming backpacks. Now I could build one. Oh no. Hello. called me asking if I got lymphoma from weed killer that I could, win a bunch of money from a lawsuit. And I pressed 1 to talk to them, and they didn't talk to me. That's disgusting. Oh well. Man, I am disappointed now. Now we're gonna do some fun things here, but like I said, if I can get that back, less much money to build. It's got the live view built into it. It comes with the camera. It comes with a giant battery, and we could totally, wear that while storm chasing, and then have the feed from the car and then the feed from the POV. So I'm gonna try to see if we can scrounge up some money to do that at the end of the month. I think that would be awesome. Nikki says I can offer her $5,000. I actually did offer her money to quit her job, and she quit her job. So take that comment and stuff in. If you're, by the way, if anybody's been watching for a while but you missed out on the past 2 live streams, Nikki finally quit her job. She quit that dump of an ambulance company. Thank God. But yeah, the problem out here is cell signal. It's not necessarily, it's more like reliability, with the terrain and hills and valleys, we lose service. It's just a pain. It's getting better. Like, seriously, 3 years ago, like, I noticed a big difference from trying to get mobile data out here in the plains. And it is so much better than it was 3 years ago. Like, I noticed the difference every single year that I'm out here. It's better. So I think in a couple of years it's going to be to the point where it's fine. We can stream from anywhere. So it's getting better as days go on, which is good. Somebody asked me if I would live stream if we get pulled over for speeding. Yeah, I mean, if the Texas State Police wants to stop me for doing 3 miles an hour over the speed limit right now, yeah, I'll keep the camera running. I don't care. Probably get a kick out of it. It's kind of like those Arkansas state cops. I thought they were gonna scream at me because the guy the guy was super nice, but he just looked like an angry person. We were in Arkansas when there was that tornado emergency for Little Rock, a couple of months ago. And I was at this gas station, and the Arkansas State Police shows up. And this cop rolls his window down. He's like, "Are you Vince?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm thinking, well, what the hell? Like, how the hell do you even know who I am? And he pulls out his phone, and he opens Radar Omega. And he goes, "Is this you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, we've been watching you since you were back at the other half of the state." I'm like, "No kidding." And he goes, "Yeah, we've been trying to keep up with you in case something happens." And I thought that was pretty cool. And then a bunch of state cops showed up, wanting to see the car and stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought he was going to complain about my driving or something, but no, they thought it was great. That was pretty funny. I think that was caught on live stream too. But yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to pull me over right now, that's fine. They can even write me a ticket on stream. Yeah, I run a similar setup to Daniel's. Daniel uses that Speedify thing. I use a Cradle Point router that does the same thing. It's basically what him and I are running is the same thing, but different manufacturers of equipment. And as far as I know, me and Daniel are the only ones that actually run redundant setups in the car for streaming and stuff. as far as I know. I don't think anybody else really. I know some people use live views, but what Daniel and I are doing is like a step above a live view. And Daniel's been doing it for longer than I have. He's been running everything with like redundant connections for like 7 years. So, but yeah, I've seen his setup, and he's got the same mentality that I do. Like he wants to provide a quality product for the customers, kind of, which is the viewer. And not a lot of storm chasers have that. A lot of them are just like, well, here's my stream, like it or don't, which is fine. But Daniel's really, really focused on the stream like I am. So yeah, I've seen his setup, and it is impressive. Daniel knows a lot about video. I don't know a whole lot about cameras and stuff. I really don't. I'm more of an editing and IT person. So when it comes to the actual cameras and stuff, I don't know a whole lot. But he's really got it down. He does have an impressive setup. I agree with that. I'll even recommend that you guys follow him. He charges, I think it's like $20 a month or something like that to view his live streams, which is totally fair. He comes over here from Australia every year, and it costs a ton of money to come over here for 2 months. He's usually here for like 2.5 months. Gets here in April, leaves at the end of June. I think he said he's leaving the end of June this year. So he's got a couple of weeks yet. We'll probably run into him a couple more times, but it costs a ton of money for him, so it's fair. I would honestly, guys, I really recommend it. If you got like $20 a month or whatever, you want to kick the guy $20 on Patreon and watch his streams, it's definitely worth it. You can tell that he really enjoys what he does, because he really tries his best to make it kind of a high quality production. And he's much more entertaining than I am. Data plans do I have? All of them. They're all business plans, because the consumer plans, a lot of them get throttled, go over so many gigabytes. But we have Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Viero, which is a regional carrier. It covers Nebraska really, really well. And then we have US Cellular as well, which covers the Midwest really well. So we've basically got everybody. I am going to get a Canadian cellular plan as well for when we're up in Canada, so we're not roaming. I think Daniel only charges, it's 20, or it might be more than that, I don't know, but I think it's around $20. But he does a lot on Patreon too. It's not just the video. He's always posting photos and stuff. He does a really good job. But Daniel came from like the news media. Like his whole life he's done news media stuff, so he's just gotten really, really good at doing it. I wish that we could talk Picos Hank into live streaming. I had dinner with Hank and Daniel a couple of weeks ago, and it was a blast. It's always a lot of fun. Those guys are awesome. So I always get a little bit sad when Daniel goes home for the year, because that kind of marks the end of peak season. But yeah, if you want to meet somebody that's truly passionate about this, it's definitely him. He is the first person to help anybody. That's for sure. Great guy. Oh, that's interesting. Which phones? AT&T. Verizon's customer service has been just terrible. AT&T covers most, like, I run a bonded and redundant setup. So we have 6 SIM cards in a router that runs our internet, and they all get connected into one connection. 3 of them are AT&T, 2 of them are Verizon, and 1 is T-Mobile. 75% of the time, the AT&T network is covering everything. The Viero and the US Cellular, those are just SIM cards I have on a phone as backup. But AT&T seems to cover the best. Now, statistically speaking, Verizon has the most like 5G coverage, but I have noticed that AT&T seems to cover more, and it seems to be more stable. So I always recommend AT&T. T-Mobile is great if you live in a big city, but otherwise it's not. JJ, yeah, I like Aaron. Aaron's awesome. You want to go eat with him? Yeah, he's cool. He's, I don't know if anybody's seen his car, but he used duct tape and put LOL on the side of his car. I think it was kind of a low-key response to all of us, well, not all of us, like myself and Ryan wrapping our vehicles, getting the decals. Like, Aaron's a very positive person. I think, like, when we posted on Twitter that our vehicles are bright colored and stuff, a lot of people got upset about it for whatever reason. A lot of storm chasers made fun of it. So I think Aaron has kind of like, and this is just me assuming, I don't know if this was the reason or not, but he did this right when that happened. I think his way of poking fun about the whole situation was, you know, he put LOL on the side of his car in duct tape. And it's freaking hilarious. I love it. I mean, I like Aaron. That's his personality. That's totally something I would do. And it's still on there. I'd passed him yesterday, or the day before, or whatever, and he had LOL on the side of his cars. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's funny. You want Reed to get his windshield fixed? Yeah. Good luck with that. I think the past few days he's been riding with Mike Scantlin, though. I don't think he's been in his car. Pretty sure he's been with Mike. Mike Scantlin's another good one to follow. Sometimes even with good internet it's not doing so. Like right now we're struggling a bit to keep the internet up. We're in Texas. We're between Lubbock and Amarillo. Have I seen Hank's TIT? No, I have not seen his TIT. I've seen his current vehicle. The original and then the second TIT got totaled. Somebody hit him. I got to ride in his current RAV4, which was kind of fun. I got to go for a ride in the famous Pecos Hank RAV4, so that made me happy. And I promise it lived up to expectations. Leather seats, smelled good, clean. A couple hail dents, you know, everything you would expect. So. Live storm chasing. I'll start a new stream for that here in a little bit. tornado down there. It was south of Lubbock, or north of Lubbock. It wasn't super close to Lubbock, but it was in that general area. I forgot what town it was. It was like Morton or something like that. Guys, we'll probably start the live storm chasing stream around 4:30. We'll keep this stream active till about 3 p.m. I would say sometime between 4 and 5 will be the storm chasing. To break out of this fog and low cloud cover. Mesoscale discussion's been issued. Severe thunderstorm watch possible later on. We're coming in as quick as we can. Stayed with Ryan for, God, it was like 5 days last week or whatever to get the vehicles done. It was a lot of fun. He was a good guy. Like, I think the boundary is at Lubbock right now, so I think once we hit Lubbock, we're going to get clear skies. track me? Well, I'm usually active in the Radar Omega app. I don't have a map on the scene that we use when we're not storm chasing, but when we're storm chasing, there is a radar screen that comes up every so minutes that shows current location. Right there is free. The sign says 0. Probably $4. 4 probably fell off. Heck yes. For below $4, that'd be great. Yeah, I get a lot of questions though, like, everybody's always like, well, are you ticked off about the gas price? Well, of course I'm ticked off about it. I don't want to spend $4.20 a gallon. Nobody does. But, I don't get too bent out of shape about it because there's nothing that I can do as a person to change it. And if gas was $7, it'd be $7. You know, just have to figure it out. Figure out other ways to pay for it. I'll be honest with you. If gas was like $8 a gallon, like it is out in freaking California, the stream, we'd probably have to charge for the stream. I hate to be that way, but like right now it's high. I don't, honestly, if I had like a truck that had got like 10 miles a gallon, I'd be selling it right now. But it's manageable because, like when you're out, it's not super expensive to do this. Besides gas, insurance, and hotels, like food gets a little pricey, but actually living out here isn't too expensive because you don't really get a lot of time to go do anything. So there's really no like recreation or leisure that costs any money. If that makes sense. But no, I don't plan on charging for the stream. I'm just saying if like I was live streaming in California and it cost like $8 a gallon and I got 20 miles a gallon, yeah, we would be doing something different, that's for sure. Gas came down for a little bit there. But you have to remember too, storm chasing happens in the states that typically have the cheapest gas prices, so that helps a lot too. You know, while in New York and these places on the coast where gas is super, well, it's super expensive everywhere, but it's really expensive there. It's not as bad here. It's a little bit on the cheaper side, which is good. You know, statistically, these are the cheaper states for fuel, you know, the ones that we're driving around in and storm chasing in. So that does help us a lot. That's one thing to take into consideration. My drone with, I forgot it at home. That is a problem. I really wish I had it with. Heck, we can actually stream from the drone. Gas is $4.80 in Indiana. Yeah, when we drove out to Kentucky, Illinois and Indiana were super high. And it's funny because if you go into Wisconsin from Illinois, the gas prices drop like 70 cents. Like some of these places, it really truly is price gouging. And I know that there's the state gas taxes, but still, it's dumb because it makes these high gas prices even higher, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, Reed loses a lot of things. I like Reed. He is probably one of the best storm chasing friends I could ask for. We almost had to go get Reed this morning. I guess Scanlon's not going to chase today, and Reed's in Tulsa. And Reed, I think Reed thought I was up near Tulsa because I think he thought I was chasing Kansas yesterday. He's like, I need to ride with you to New Mexico, and I'm like, sure. And I didn't think to ask where he was, and then I'm like, well, before I tell you yes. So I'm like, I'm in Weatherford. Reed's like, yeah, I'm in Tulsa, that ain't gonna work. But I think Reed should be on his way. I think he got a rental car. He's probably up near Amarillo because he wasn't too far behind me. Yeah, I like Reed though. I'm a big supporter, great guy. Very helpful. least you can buy a replacement drone at Best Buy. It used to be you had to get all that stuff online, but at least you can go to Best Buy and get one. My drone is ancient. We had a follower that actually purchased us a new drone. But there was an issue with DJI where I guess they had a problem importing them or something. The order got canceled. It got delayed and canceled. I still have the ancient drone. It's the original Mavic, but if it gets lost in a tornado, it gets lost in a tornado, I guess. It does need to get replaced, though, at some point. But yeah, drones are awesome. I had a drone back. I got my first drone back in 2017 when they, before they were cool. Set up so we can stream from the drone, which is awesome. Technology's come a long way. We can do so much cool stuff. I just like to do fun stuff. That's why I started doing this. I didn't want to work a 9-to-5 job anymore. I wanted to do something where I could mess around with stuff and make stuff, and that's kind of how this live stream came to be. Believe me, it's going to get real cool here. As soon as we get 4 days where there's no storm chase, it's going to get real cool because we've got a bunch of external cameras that we got to hook up. But I have to run power to them all outside of the vehicle, and I need a couple of days so that I can actually take the car apart, because I have to take the front seats out and all the plastic panels and take the headliner down so I can run the wire. I got to take the car apart a bit. It's going to take a full day. So we need a break to be able to do that. I've got a couple of remote cameras that I'm building also. So for hurricanes, we can literally go put a remote camera somewhere and stream it live onto the stream. I'm getting a lot of backlash from other storm chasers thinking that I'm trying to capitalize off storm chasing. In a way I am. I mean, I have bills to pay. But I'm not out here trying to just get a crap ton of money from doing this. I am literally doing this because I want to mess around with this stuff. I think it is cool to fly a drone into a tornado and stream it to the internet. I mean, that's cool. I want to do that, so we're going to do it. It's not... a lot of people make fun of, the Twister movie and the corporate sponsors or whatever. It's yes, I have some corporate sponsors. Things cost money. There's a lot of storm chasers and their snide remarks on Twitter, you've got a sponsor. It's yes, I have sponsors. I have to pay the bills too. I have to, I can't afford to go buy 16 GoPros to put on the car. You kidding me? I'm not selling myself out here. I reach out to companies to try to get some of the stuff so we can do cool stuff. It didn't work out so well with GoPro because they didn't like that I wasn't using their camera to stream. I told them, I said, the low light capability of your camera is garbage. I said, you need to fix it. And they didn't like it. And they wanted their money and their camera back. And I said, no. You told me I had to give an honest review, and I contacted them. I said, I can't review this because I have nothing good to say about it. So if anybody thinks I'm selling out, that's not it, because I literally told them it ain't going to work because, I still use GoPros though, but I'm not going to lie about them. I'm not going to get on YouTube and be like, this is the greatest camera ever. I use it, at 2 o'clock in the morning to film tornadoes when I can't because it has zero low light capability. I can't lie about that. Do I allow ride-alongs for a fee? I don't know. I mean, I've had people contact me that want to ride with. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing, a follower along with every now and then. I would not be opposed to it. However, if you're looking for like a legitimate storm chasing experience, there are some really good storm chasing tours out there. Like, get a hold of like Brandon Ivy if you want to take a legit tour. I think you pay like, and I know this price sounds scary, but I think it's like $2,500 to $3,500 for like 8 days of storm chasing. But that's everything. That's your hotel. That's your everything. I don't know if that's the exact price or not, but like, I really like Brandon Ivy. He is a good friend. He's got good storm chasing tours. But no, I have had a lot of professional photographers also ask if they could come with. I don't know. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be against it. I probably owe some of our moderators a ride along at some point too. I had a couple of guys last month that were photographers from overseas get a hold of me, and it just didn't work out. There's one guy that I thought we were going to get him in the car and it was going to be fun because the guy was super polite and he's like, oh, this is awesome. He's like, let's do this. The problem is, and I told him it probably just wasn't going to work because he needed to be able to be like at a hotel by 7 p.m. every single night because he was here for work and he was from like Europe or something. And he had to be at the hotel because he had to do something for work and he had to be able to upload the video and report back or whatever. And I'm like, I can't guarantee that, dude. I'm like, I really can't. I told him, I'm like, I can do my best, but I just don't think it's going to work. And the money that was involved was stupid. There was a lot of money. I mean, I'm not kidding. There was like several thousands of dollars involved. And a lot of people are like, oh, Vince is just about the money. No, I am not about the money. I turned down like a $12,000 paycheck for the month of May because I couldn't take that guy along. But I told him, I said, dude, I am so sorry, but I cannot promise you that we will be at the hotel all the time. Like, I am so sorry. You know? And I think he found somebody to go with, but he had to modify it because like everybody was telling him that. Everybody's like, yeah, we can't do that. And it wasn't the guy's fault. It was his job. His job's paid for. But there's a lot of photographers that want to go with too, that want to take like landscape photography, that don't know how to chase storms, but they want to go with a storm chaser. There are some moderators though that I do probably owe a storm chasing trip to. Our moderators and admins here and on Discord do an excellent job. And remember guys, our moderators don't get paid. I don't pay our moderators. And here come the, oh, Vince is a cheap ass comments. Well, yeah, I am a cheap ass. Like, I don't have the money to pay them. I really don't. I don't make a lot of money doing this. Well, I take that back. I have a decent amount of income, but it all goes right out the door for fuel and data and all that. If and when gas goes back down to 2 something a gallon, things will change. But I do owe our moderators some ride-alongs at some point. But and I brag about not paying these guys, not to sound like a jerk, but I say that because we've got some really dedicated people that monitor the chat all the time and help post to Twitter and do all this stuff. And they don't expect any, which just shows that we have some really nice people helping us out. So, you know, you can thank them, not me. You can thank them for the chat not being full of spam and porn links. Because I mean, that's really basically what they do. They keep the idiots out of the chat, keep the Nigerian scammers out of there. So, and they do a good job. So, thank you to everybody that's a moderator. Someday we will go storm chasing and I'll pay for it. We have moderators all over the country, so we could definitely arrange something. I mean, we got the mail lady in Texas. I ran into her, and I just call her the mail lady. That's just her name. And she bought me Cheez-Its the one day. That was nice of her. But, you know, we got people all over. We've got Missouri, we've got Texas, we've got Wisconsin, Tennessee, all over the place. So we have a lot of loyal viewers too. Honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, someday when things are in better order, I would absolutely love to take a couple of you guys with. And yeah, somebody mentioned in the comments about liability waivers. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, that kind of goes back to the insurance I have too, but like absolutely. Like I wouldn't take, just Joe Schmo off the street corner, that's for sure. We've got some viewers that, there's some viewers in this chat that are here for every single stream. Just because they like watching. I feel like I do owe some of you guys like a ride along. It would be fun, I mean, I do enjoy taking people with. We would most likely have to do something like this during not peak season. What the? Sorry. Oh, okay. I thought this guy like crashed into that sign. No, his car is just in the middle of the median. Sorry. I legitimately thought that guy ran his car into that sign. But anyway. Like not when it's not peak season, when we have a storm chase and then like a week of off time when it's easier to plan, that would be a good time to do it. A challenge in the winter gets right along. I thought about doing that. I thought about just saying, you know what, if you've sent a super chat all year, you're gonna get, we'll pull your name out of the hat or something. But I'm always willing to do meet and greets too. Like if I'm in like somebody's town and you're like, holy crap, like you're at my Walmart. And you want to see the car or something, I mean, I don't care. Come stop by. Or tell me. We'll meet up. That's what I did with our mail lady. And then, like I said, that's just her name now. Mail lady. So, she's like, holy crap, you're passing through my town. I'm like, all right, we'll go to Dollar General for Cheez-Its. So. Make sure they're not a serial killer or something. No. I'm not going to do a background check because can you imagine the live stream if we got like a crazy person in here and they were like talking about aliens and like tinfoil hats and stuff? Everybody would watch it. We really need to get a crazy person in the passenger seat to up our views. What state is my home base? Wisconsin, unfortunately. I don't even say I live anywhere. Like, people are like, hey, where are you from? And I'm just like, I'm everywhere. I think I was home like 5 days in the whole month of May. Mod Appreciation Day. Riley, the YouTube chat filter just stopped you from. That's funny. Riley is a friend of mine. He's a moderator for Ryan's. Well, he's more than a moderator. He's like, I was just gonna say he's like Frank, but that's not gonna make sense to people. Anyway, Riley, you're I bypassed it, but the YouTube spam thing stopped your message, and I think that's funny. Convoy. Yes, it is. Not quite sure what they're working on, but they're about to. We should just stop at one of these random work sites and just interview some of these people like that are doing like the maintenance work, or just interview them. Just be like, what are you doing? Probably think we were dumb. Probably tell us to get lost. That would be fun though, and like I said, some of you guys do deserve a chance to come with. It would be fun. I don't mind taking people. I chase on my own. I know somebody asked that. I chase on my own. I can't chase with other storm chasers because I feel like I need to be responsible for my own decisions. but I wouldn't mind taking somebody with. To cross this boundary, it's getting warmer. We're up into the mid-60s now. I think once we get about 10 miles south of Lubbock, it's all of a sudden going to be blue skies. I saw what happened to Daniel's car, the random trailer hitting him. He really didn't take much damage though. That's just the the front fender that got damaged. I know it bent his rim, but he's got steel rims, so that's going to happen. But, I mean, if he replaced that quarter panel, you'd probably never know, or that fender. He got lucky though that wasn't his door. Because that was his door that hit. That would be a pretty expensive problem. But yeah, I don't know where that trailer came from that got blown into him. I have no idea. And that was a pretty large trailer too. And you know, a trailer doesn't have much wind load, so it took a lot of wind to blow that trailer. If we have a Daniel sighting today, we'll be sure to stop and interview him about the damage. And believe me, he will talk to us for an hour about it too. He loves to talk about his car. Yeah, his car's almost as bad as Reed's. Except his runs, but Reed's always having problems. Daniel takes really good mechanical care of his car. I would totally buy Daniel's car from him and not be afraid to drive it anywhere. Anybody have a link to that video? I know he posted it to his YouTube page. I think it's Storm Chaser Daniel Shaw, I think is his YouTube channel. But I think it was on his YouTube page. I know he shared the link on Facebook and Twitter, but it's out there. I don't know if you guys can post links in the chat. I think it blocks them. But if anybody wants to post a link to that, you're more than welcome to. Somebody can put it in the Discord too if they want to. I don't care. It was an interesting video. That was funny because he just like didn't care. He's like, shit. And he's just like, oh, it's okay, guys. It was just a trailer. Like, just like, what the heck happened? He was like so ticked off that something hit his car, and then he backs up like 50 feet, and he's like, oh, it's okay. It was just a trailer. Never mind. I'm like, okay. Whatever. Yeah, he stores his car in Las Vegas when he goes back to Australia. He just puts it in a storage unit. But he just puts a ton of miles on that thing. Well, like I said, it just goes to show, if you maintain your vehicle well, it'll last a long time. I mean, he's always doing maintenance on that thing. And he's proud of it too. I mean, if you ask him about his car, I mean, he will tell you every story that thing's been through, and it's actually interesting, you know. He loves that car. Honestly, if any car company should give somebody a car, it's him. Toyota should literally buy that RAV4 from him and put it in a museum or use it in a car commercial or something. Because I'm dead serious. That thing it's a storm chasing icon. And it's amazing that has. You know, like the body's even in decent shape for all the hail that's been in it. It's not that terrible bad. Like if you're not close to it, it really doesn't. Like if you're standing like 20 feet from it, it really doesn't look like it's that beat up. What brand of PTZ camera do I have? I don't even know what brand it is. It's not working at the moment properly, but we do have a 360 camera. We do have a 360 camera. How do you get started as a storm chaser as a beginner? That's a great question. First of all, don't take advice from other storm chasers, because storm chasers are a very toxic community. While there are some professionals out there that are very, very kind and very true professionals like Daniel, Hank, Reed, etc. Yeah, excellent chasers. But there's a lot of toxic people out there. So don't take advice from storm chasers. Number two, just get out there and chase every single storm that you can. I don't care if it's a crap setup or not. Just get out there and start taking it. Take videos of everything. You'll eventually, if you put yourself in front of a storm as much as possible, statistically speaking, you will eventually see something that's worth getting video or photo of. And that's all you got to do. And you will figure the rest out on your own very quickly.
Keep left to stay on I-27 South.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, that slid around the back. That's frustrating. I had a box of junk.
I-27 frontage, north I-27.
A box of junk in the back seat, and we did the brakes and it slid onto the floor. That's
In
nice.
800 feet, use the left lane to take the US 87 South, I-27 South ramp.
Why did it do
Turn
that?
left onto the ramp.
Why did it do that? It took us off the interstate and then put us back on. What in the hell? I am so tired of Google. There's a lot of times that you have to take a frontage road.
Continue on I-27 South for 6 miles.
Down here, I don't know what, so whatever, I don't know, but that's dumb. When I say toxic, just really bad attitudes. You know, for example, when we were doing search and rescue with Daniel and Brandon and Lockett, a lot of people were on the internet saying that we were wannabe nice things. There's some Colorado weather guy that sent me a message telling me that I needed to go off myself, which was very inappropriate because you don't joke about that, period. And number two, that was ridiculous. And he's a storm chaser. Just very not nice people. That's why I always tell people, you know, your audience is not the storm chasing community. They're very toxic. The audience is the public. Not a knock on storm chasers, because there are some very, very true professionals, but there's a good handful of some not nice people out there. You know, if they have a big name and they're popular, they're usually pretty decent, because storm chasers don't become popular because they're good at chasing tornadoes. They become popular because they have good personalities and people like to watch them. You know, Brett, Reed, Scantlin, hell, even like Chris Florida, you know, Chris Smith, but Chris Florida, like these people, these names that people are starting to know, it's because they got good personalities and people like them. It's not because they see a tornado every day, it's because they like them. But, you know, it's just, unfortunately, for some reason, storm chasing has a lot of, like, narcissistic personalities in it. And, you know, I'm driving around with a bright colored vehicle, and, you know, people flipped out on the internet saying that, no, I can't repeat it because it goes against some YouTube terms of service, but a lot of people are like, oh, you're a bunch of wannabes and stuff, and it's like, no, we're out here having fun. Like, it's okay. I mean, come on, it's fun to put a big billboard on your vehicle and say who you are and put your YouTube channel on there. It's fun. We're not doing it to be wannabes. I mean, we're doing it because it's fun. You know, a lot of people have small businesses and they put their name on the side, and you get a lot of people that just want to put cool stickers on their car. I mean, it's fun. And a lot of storm chasers, not the public, everybody on Twitter, like, that's just quote unquote the general public that's watching us, everybody's like, oh, that's such a cool car, But then you get all these storm chasers and they're screenshotting the pictures, which is technically a copyright violation, and posting them on their pages and like saying these really, really toxic and nasty things about us. I'm just like, do you not have anything better to do? Like, I don't take a picture of your car and be like, oh, your car is stupid. Like, come on. You know, and that's what I'm talking about. It's just people, it's not hard to be nice. And then you get people like that Kyle guy that says I stole his GoPro stuff. I don't have his flippin' GoPro. He left an empty GoPro case in my car and I mailed it back to him. And I didn't get a tracking number because it was a $5 case, and I threw the receipt away because it was a $5 empty box.
In 2 miles, take exit
So,
toward US 82,
I don't know.
US
The guy's a
87
big drama
business.
queen. But anyway, it's toxic people. Just positivity is a good thing to spread. That's why I'm not out here like, you know, oh, I'm the best storm chaser ever, you know, everybody else sucks. It's like, no. I mean, I think I'm a good chaser, but I'm not out here saying, you know, oh, that person sucks. There's a lot of good storm chasers that I don't like because they have bad personalities and they're toxic people, but I still support their work and I support what they're doing. Still share their posts. But I just think it's important. There's so many mean people out there. Like, we just got to start spreading positivity in this world because it's getting out of hand. That's why I get a huge kick out of Aaron J-Jack putting LOL on the side of his car with duct tape, because like that's the stuff that we need. Like, I'm not saying that Aaron has a problem or is being a jerk like some of these people. That's not what I'm saying. Like, but it was such a big deal on Twitter where everybody was talking about these vehicle wraps and blah blah blah, and that was all it was for a whole day. And I think it's funny that, you know, we've got people like Aaron that are lighthearted enough to put LOL on the side of their car. You know, it's kind of like as a response to vehicle wraps. Like, that's the kind of stuff we need. Like, people poking fun at each other, not being nasty to each other. And it's always storm chasers. It's always storm chasers.
Take exit 4, then merge onto I-27 frontage.
That's why my advice to other storm chasers is don't get bent out of shape when another storm chaser targets you, because we're not here to impress other chasers. We're here to impress the public. When I post a tornado video, it's not to impress other storm chasers. It's to say, hey, everybody, look, like, this is cool. You know, watch this.
Turn right onto Marcia Sharp Freeway West, US 82.
It's like that Crowell, the Ford City tornado.
The US 82 West ramp.
I broke the internet. All these storm chasers. Oh, that wasn't safe. That was irresponsible. Like, yes, yes, it was very unsafe. I completely agree with you. Like, but at the same time, what we are doing is not safe. That's all there is to it. And whatever her name is, Comstock, that launched her Subaru into the ditch during that storm chase. Everybody's going after her, you know. You're a terrible person, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? She didn't get hurt. Nobody else got hurt. You know, somebody could have got hurt. I agree.
Use the left lane to
But they
take the
didn't.
US 82 West ramp.
You know, it's one of those things. It's like, don't sit there and call someone terrible. Like,
Continue for 81 miles.
I think it was a legitimate accident that she launched her car into the ditch. She's fine. I don't think anybody purposefully launched her car into the ditch. But you know what? If she was looking at her phone or looking at her camera, which I don't think was the case, I think it was just spaced out or something. But if it was honest, distracted driving, then that driver learned their lesson. They probably will never drive distracted again. It's nothing to blow the internet up about it. There were people making memes about it, and I'm like, you know, that's not very nice. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a little bit funny because somebody did something stupid. But at the same time, like, we don't know what their mental state is. We don't know if the internet coming after them and telling them to go bury their head in the sand is the last straw for them to go jump off a bridge. We don't know that. So we probably shouldn't be bashing everybody. It's one thing to say, hey, that was really stupid of you. But it's another thing to be making these memes. And there was a severe weather broker, somebody that has clients that are storm chasers. And it wasn't Corey. It wasn't Brett. It was somebody else. I'm not going to call him out by name. But that has a business of having storm chasers send them video and then they sell them. Like I said, it wasn't Corey Hartman, wasn't Brett. Those guys would never do this. They downloaded the video and then they made a meme out of it and reposted it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You are supposed to be a professional and you're making fun of this. Like, this is ridiculous. Like I said, you don't know. That could have been somebody that literally was having the worst day of their life, and this was just, it could have been the worst day of their life for other reasons. And then every storm chaser on the internet turns around and is telling them how stupid they are. We don't know their mental state. That could be the last straw. It's ridiculous. I got a hold of her on Twitter, and I'm like, hey, it's okay. You know, like, well, number one, I got a hold of her because I wanted the video, because she's got dash camera video of me driving through the tornado. It was pretty cool. But I'm like, you know, the heck with everybody. It's like you make a mistake. People get in accidents. People do stupid stuff. It happens. I understand that, yeah, it's irresponsible to drive your car through a stop sign and launch it into a ditch. But we shouldn't be telling people to go bury their head in the sand, or to go, you know, bury themselves 6 feet under. That's not right. And that's what a lot of storm chasers do, and it's really sad. Yes, call them out and say, hey, you were really dumb for doing that. That's fine. Whatever. But I don't do that, because if I get into a car accident and it's my fault and the whole world sees it, I don't want everybody coming after me. I'm not going to purposefully crash my car. Just saying. And it could happen. You know, I could drop my GPS phone and I could roll the car 15 times and, I don't know, plow over a bus. I don't know, with my car, and cause a bunch of injuries. I have no idea. But I don't want the internet coming after me and telling me to go pound sand because I had an accident. I don't know, that's my rant. And I'm not going off on anybody. I'm just saying, like, that's one of the things. That's why I always tell people, like, make sure if you're trying to be a social media influencer or a streamer or even a gamer or somebody that does Twitch or any of this stuff, only care about your audience. Don't care about your competition or the people that do the same thing you do. Just care about the audience. If your audience likes what you're doing and they appreciate what you're doing, then you're doing something right. Like this, I want you guys as viewers to care about what I'm doing. I don't care if other storm chasers like or dislike what I'm doing. I only care about you guys because I work for you in a way. My content is made for you guys. If you guys like me driving my car into a tornado, great. I'm not going to purposefully drive into a tornado and get myself killed. Absolutely not. But I get close to tornadoes. I do understand what I'm doing. I have a meteorology background. I did partially go to school for meteorology, kind of like Ryan did. Didn't finish it, but I did. I have a lot of storm scale understanding of what's going on. Like when we were close to that tornado in Crowell or Ford City, I knew we were going to lose the back window. It was going to happen. A lot of people said that was irresponsible of me. It's not. I was going to pay for it. I made a joke saying that Ryan Hall owes me a back window. It was a joke. You know, I was making light of the situation because I got him an awesome shot for his stream. So I said, all right, Ryan owes me a window. Call him up now. Get him to buy me a window. It was a joke. Back window was replaced. I knew we were going to lose it because we were parallel with the rear inflow jet, which is that ghost train that Skip Talbot has coined it. A ghost train. It's maybe a couple 100 feet tall, and it's a streamer of very high wind feeding the tornado kind of from the back quadrant. And we were in that, and I knew that we were safe because it was coming up and the wind was rushing to the back of the car, so we weren't going to get rolled. We weren't going to get broadsided by it. And I knew in the back of my mind, with all the gravel, there was no big debris, but there was a bunch of gravel. I'm like, we are going to lose a back window, and it's going to happen now. And about 30 seconds after thinking that, and I think I might have said it on the stream, I think I said, we're going to lose the back window. A big frickin' tumbleweed with the root still on it actually went through the back window, which I was impressed with. It's impressive for a tumbleweed to take out a window. So, that's what I think about that. What I did, a lot of people on YouTube, go read the YouTube comments on that video. They're funny. Everybody's like, oh, you're an idiot. You get the Darwin Award. And I don't let that bother me because if you don't know the context, that's very dumb. And yes, technically, the position I was in, I'm not saying it was safe, but I think it was the safest position to be in within 100 feet of that tornado. Not that any of them were very safe, but It was a fairly weak tornado, and I kind of got caught up in the moment. And it's fine, whatever. I really don't care. We're fine, whatever. But it made a cool video, and all of my true supporters are like, a lot of you guys are like, holy crap, don't do that again, don't die. But a lot of you are like, my God, that's awesome video. But then the storm chasing community is like, you're a piece of crap, sell all your video and go do something else for a living. It's like, come on. But there was a lot of other chasers that got some good video of that too. And I typically don't drive into tornadoes like that, but there are times where this is going to sound very strange. However, to be able to understand why you would want to even be that close to a tornado, you'd really have to understand the lifestyle. This is not a hobby or a moneymaker for me. This is something that I will miss my wedding for this. If there is a tornado on my wedding day, I will not be at my wedding. And I'm not kidding. Like, this is the most important thing in my life. And there is something, if there, like, tornado, I have to be there. I have to. If there's a beautiful storm like where we were yesterday, I have to be under it. I don't care if there's baseball hail. We have to be there. That's where I don't know what it is, but it's where I have to be. And that's where I'm going to bring you guys. So I love being close like that. We're not going to get, 50 feet from an F5. I am not going to do that. Trust me, I'm not going to do, we're not going to drive into a wedge. I will not do that. But we will get close to things, and you can do it safely. And I need to do a better job when we're streaming of explaining what's going on. I need to narrate it better, because a lot of you guys have legitimate interest. You're like, okay, like, why are we driving here? Like, this is stupid. You're in a bad spot. You're going to get yourself hurt, when we're actually in a good spot. So I need to do a really good job of explaining, like, okay, guys, here's the inflow jet. Storm's moving this way. Tornado's going to cross over here. So we need to stay in the notch so we don't get pounded by, debris, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I really need to get, like, Nikki in the passenger seat to help me do that, so we can have somebody, watching around us or even driving for us, so that I can narrate. And I think that would be awesome if we could start really explaining this, because I know a lot of people have genuine interest in that. And I need to go through, like, this winter when we're not chasing much, we need to go back through all this video and talk about why we made these decisions, because, not to defend myself, but I think a lot of people want to know, like, okay, why are you right there? Like, that looks like a stupid spot and there's giant hail. Like, why are you there? Because a lot of times I just drive around and I don't have time to explain it. But anyway. Streaming phone's overheating, so you might lose me for a minute here. It might reboot due to heat. I did forget I didn't have the defroster on. I got to run the defroster when I stream with the air on, so that it cools the equipment down. Okay, so I got that on now, so it'll cool down. Okay, stand by. Okay, so we've got audio back. All right, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. We are on an old GoPro now. I let the phone battery die because I'm a moron. I forgot to charge or plug it in. So we got to let that come back up here. It'll be a little bit. So we're going to have poor camera quality for a few minutes. Anyway, really dusty here. See the brown haze in the sky? Yeah, audio is going to be poor for a little bit, guys. I can't do a whole lot about it until we get the primary system back up. I'm sorry. Yeah, audio is going to be poor for a bit. Okay, phone's coming back on. I'm dumb. Should have that plugged in. Always makes sense to have a backup. Severe thunderstorm watch has been issued. For West Texas and parts of New Mexico. There's lots of dust out there. It's probably time to end the stream and get the live storm chasing stream started. So guys, I think it's time. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream since it's about go time here. We're going to schedule the live stream for like 4:15. So guys, thank you so much. Just subscribe to the channel. I'll be back live for storm chasing here shortly. Thank you for riding along. So we are south of Lubbock, headed towards Seminole. I will be back in, like I said, about 45 minutes with the live storm chasing stream. Give me about 10 minutes and the stream will be scheduled. So take care, guys. I'll be right back.